I almost sent the email. Typically I would get the list on Friday. Sometimes it's Monday, depending on how busy they are. So I almost emailed, like, can you just tell me? Because I don't ever care who we get. I just need the times because we try to set up other interviews. So I started to text it or email it, and then I'm like, let me just check. I got a weird feeling, and I'm like, holy crap.
I know.
No UFC this weekend.
It's a nice break for us.
And it just so happens that I tried to book Jade Wong, who's fighting for the title against Christine Ferreira in BKFC Salt Lake City coming up, but she's already shut down. She's not doing media. She's 100% focused on the fight ahead.
Good
so
for her.
how long do you think is the right amount of time for a fighter to stop the outside distractions to focus on the goal at hand?
Thanks for listening to Brad Penny.
Oh, who's that?
Yeah, exactly.
Is it an aligner? Make sure he introduces himself correctly.
He did a 15-minute interview last week. We talked about these types of things. I short, fat, old guy, I think it's ridiculous. I get being tuned in, and I tell everybody, Gerald last week, who said he would come on Wednesday, he took a nap. Hey, you got to take care of business. If it's available, yeah, let's do it. Don't change your training. Don't change your schedule. If you want to take a nap, take a nap. I mean, this is just thank you for coming on and being with us. But to say I'm totally shutting down, like Brad said last week, that'll drive you crazy. Do the things you need to do to get focused. But if coming on an interview will throw you off and change your focus,
You've got bigger problems.
You've got bigger problems.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, look what happened to Ronda Rousey. Ronda Rousey is a perfect example of what you're talking about. When she lost to Holly Holm, the next time she fought Amanda Nunes, she cut out all media. She said that she did way too much media leading up to the Holly Holm fight, and she did. In her defense,
champions do.
Yeah, champions do, and she did a lot because it was the first time they were in Melbourne, Australia. It was a lot of media for her to do, and everybody was out to see Ronda. They weren't out to see anybody else. So she did. She did a lot of media. So the second time after that fight, when she lost, she said, I'm not doing any media, and she shut down completely. And not only did she lose the fight, but she lost her fans. She lost a lot of support from the media. You got to be careful when you shut down like that.
What are you doing if you're not training? This shutting off, whatever. What are you doing? You're sitting in the house?
Not to mention you're peeing off the promoter. Dana wasn't happy with Ronda when she shut down like that.
So, are athletes still expected to
Yes.
build their own fight, like fanfare?
Yes.
Like,
Well, yeah.
fight
Especially
cards?
at BKFC level.
Like why does Gerald Mershaw have to still
He doesn't.
champion
Doesn't.
to get a fight like December 14th? Like why?
Oh, well, that's because he wants to fight.
Right. Well,
in
they all
Tampa.
They all want to fight.
But,
He want
if he's going on social media and
right.
putting it out there
He's trying to
publicly,
get the fight.
Well, because he lives in Florida. He
Right.
wants to
But-
fight
but they
in front of
still
his
have to-
family.
but they still have to do that. Fighters still have to.
Unless
fight.
your name's Conor McGregor,
Yep.
John Jones, you don't have to do it because you just pick up the phone and say, all right, Dana, I'm good. I want to fight in Madison Square Garden or whatever. But everybody else is trying to get
think
fights.
about how many people have been lobbying to fight at the Sphere.
Right.
I mean, everybody.
Right.
So that's all you heard about. I got to fight at the Sphere. Got to fight at the Sphere because it's going to be an epic event. And when is that? That's happening in
2 weeks.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
going to be great. Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't wait for that. That one I'll pay for.
So now going back to the Conor McGregor thing, Michael Chandler is training for a fight. Have you heard who he's fighting yet?
No.
I haven't
Not
either.
yet.
But I know it's close. I know his trainer, Todd Durkin. So Todd was on a call yesterday. He knows who it is. He didn't release it, but so Michael Chandler will be back in action. Which,
Oh, that's great.
Which was great because I was worried that he was hanging on too long for the Conor fight, and you miss those golden years. Of
You
your
miss
career.
money. You
Yeah.
miss getting paid.
Opportunity and
Absolutely.
your prime and the conditioning. So
I was told by somebody, and I'm not taking this as gospel. I barely took his phone call, that Stipe's foot or knee or something is still not good. So whether the 16th happens or not may be true, but it may not be because of John.
Right.
Randy Harris, breaking news. He is telling injury reports about Stipe.
Well, you could have taken my call earlier. I called you like 3 times that day.
yeah.
I hope the fight doesn't happen.
I do too because I don't want to see it, to be honest. I know
Yeah.
John's going to win. it's not even a fight that I want to watch. And and John Jones is one of the most exciting fighters. He's one of my favorite fighters, and I don't care that he hasn't fought in 2 years. I don't care about this fight. I want to see him fight Tom Aspinall.
Yeah, I don't think that fight will happen.
That's what I want to see.
I don't think it'll happen, and I hate when you say you talked about Houston Alexander. He's not afraid of Tom. I truly don't believe that. Now, whether he believes he can beat Tom or not is a different story. He's not scared of anybody.
I believe he believes he can beat Tom.
Oh,
Aspinall.
I believe that. But I also know for a fact that a lot of fighters believe that they can beat the fighter, but know they can't win.
But think about this. If I were Dana White, I would make John fight Tom Aspinall, because not only is it a great for the UFC, but if they have a good close fight, whether John wins or not, that rematch is huge business.
I'll be the devil's advocate. We talked about people that don't realize 10 years, 15, 20 years from now, they go to Google, okay? They go to Google now and they look at Anderson Silva and they're like, he wasn't that good. When we know that he was the greatest middleweight of all time.
Correct.
He will be the greatest middleweight of all time.
Yes.
And people are like the money grab. No, it's what we do for money. He made money. He fought a couple fights. He got beat. That ruins legacies.
It did.
Now, John Jones, if he fights Stipe, when he beats Stipe, then his decision, in my opinion, will be retire or fight Tom Aspinall. If he fights Tom Aspinall, I think Tom wins. Okay? Does that ruin, I say yes, the legacy down the road? Us people that know and lived it know that John Jones was the greatest fighter of all time, blah, 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 blah. But down the road, today's young people have no idea who Fedor is.
But let me ask you a question. Do you think Fedor is sitting at home right now going, I can't believe these youngsters don't know who I am?
Okay.
And do you think John Jones is going to do that if he loses to Aspinall?
Yes. I think John does. I think Fedor doesn't.
I agree.
I think, John doesn't care to a point that he cares. I've been told by some NFL guys that were very difficult while they played. Okay, didn't do. And then I ran across said individual at a different league. I forget even what it was called. And he said to me, and I quote, I wished I knew now what I didn't know then. I would have done everything differently.
Wow.
So they don't think they care until it's now gone, and then they care.
Right.
And I think
Fair
being
enough.
known
That's fair
as the greatest of all time might change, not for you and me, but for others if Tom goes in and destroys him.
Well, is John Jones the greatest of all time?
Yes.
Okay. Fair. Okay.
But that's my point when I'm talking about health.
But why
like
would you
people
care
in
10,
nature.
20 years later if you know you're the greatest of all time? Who
now.
cares what anybody sees it?
Because we all say we don't care. Look at this idiot. We all say we don't care, okay?
Nobody asked
But we
why
care.
I had this in my pocket.
Know,
Not one
we care.
That's the real question.
And so down the road,
Why did I have this?
should I just turn them off?
No.
Down the road, 15 years from now, he's now been out of the the game, the business, the sport for 10 years. Yeah, you want to be known as the greatest. It's not that we're talking about a great fighter. The greatest of all time in many people's eyes. If he then loses that fight to Tom, I don't think it should, but I think it does ruin his legacy. It hurts his legacy.
Okay, that's fair. I don't agree with the sentiment because I think if you're a fighter, you're going to lose a fight.
But he hasn't.
He lost one.
He did lose one, and I continue to say he lost one. You continue to say he didn't, because of the technicality or whatever. And we've talked about, Abdul being a no contest and a DQ and blah, 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 blah. I think it's totally different when you're undefeated or considered to be undefeated. Anderson Silva had losses.
Right.
Now my question is this: which of the Jones brothers was the best fighter? Because I saw a video.
Chandler.
Was brother said, "I'm bigger than John. I'm stronger."
John says that the two are better.
I will beat the hell out of my brother John.
John has said his two brothers would beat his ass.
Yeah.
Again, his two brothers are linemen. They're bigger dudes. They have fought.
Like electricians.
Yes. Don't encourage.
Real
Don't laugh.
heroes.
That was funny.
You
Make
got to
sure call
hold.
them
You
real heroes.
you got to hold the laughter,
Live. That
even
was
the
funny,
couple times he is funny.
So yeah, I mean Arthur played for the Ravens, and he's the biggest of the Jones brothers, and they are very large guys.
And Chandler's a lunatic too.
Yeah.
He was the one that was naked in the house, right? Yeah. So I wouldn't want to fight him.
Yeah.
clothed or unclothed.
Was
Right.
Rampage naked when you went into his living room? He stole things from his garage.
You just want to be really careful
no,
because Quentin
remove-
is the type of guy.
He will punch you.
Yeah.
Remove things from your garage.
He will punch you.
I did remove things from his garage by his direction.
Well, that's what I was saying about Boss Rutan. Well, I was the roast master for Big John McCarthy's 50th birthday at his gym in California,
Who are you?
and I'm Mike Straka.
Hold on a second. You give me crap when I drop names. He drops more names than I do.
So-
yeah,
Guys, that
but
guy's
that's
a-
cool.
that guy's a legend.
So you know when you're a roast master, you get to roast the people that are
Right.
roasting John McCarthy. So I did a bit on Kenny Florian, I did a bit on Randy Couture, and when I had to introduce Boss Rutan, I just said our next roaster is a guy that I'm deathly afraid of, Boss Rutan, everybody, and I walked away because Boss doesn't like me, and if I made any joke, he's the type of guy that would come right up in front of everybody
would.
and just knock me
Liver
Yeah.
kick. You'd get the
Wow.
liver kick.
out. Knock me out. Like he wouldn't care.
I have the Boss Rutan punching system in my garage.
Oh, you do, really?
I bought two and made a mega person, so it's like two Mike Strakas stacked up,
That's awesome.
and it says Boss on there.
This isn't a competition, but Boss and I are good friends, and he is such a good dude.
Oh, I know he is.
He really is.
I
I know
need
he
his O2 trainer for my protocols.
Well,
to
call
help people with
call his
market
company and purchase
I'm
one.
not.
I
I'm
don't
not
have
everybody's
money.
cup of tea.
I work for Knockout Radio. I'm
I'm
broke.
not everybody's cup of tea, so I don't mind when people don't like me.
No,
It's
of course.
It's okay.
Well, and I've always said to be successful, you need hate and you need love. I mean,
I always say make sure you pronounce my name right if you hate me. Don't call me Stratka. It's Straka.
there you go.
One T.
One T.
One T.
One T.
Low T.
Boss stepped up big time after Ryan
Yeah.
Bennett
Of
died,
course you did.
and he sent a bunch of stuff. We auctioned it off, and yeah, really good dude.
No,
I-
Boss is a good. I just said he doesn't like me, so I was afraid to roast
So-
him. I
Sure.
really was.
I don't blame you.
Speaking of people not liking people, don't you have a big John McCarthy hate story?
No.
Doesn't he hate you?
No,
Well, didn't you stand him up at a pizza place?
no, that's not John McCarthy,
Who
you
was it?
moron.
Who was it?
Jesus.
Who did you stand up at the pizza place?
Can't think of his name. Bergliata.
Oh.
Oh, Dan
Oh,
Bergliat.
You stood Dan
First
up.
of all, we didn't stand up anybody.
Okay, I just heard you stood somebody up. at
No,
the
we
pizza
didn't.
place.
First of all, you heard wrong.
Okay.
I've sparred with Dan Bergliata, and that was not a fun experience, man. He is one big.
I
dude.
told Dan and Sal and all the guys that we hang out with that Steve and I will meet him at the pizza shop after the press conference. Well, just because their job is done once the fight's over, our job wasn't. And those damn press conferences go till 2:30 in the morning Eastern, and we walked to the pizza shop after. They were gone, it was closed, and they were at some big private party on South Beach. So everybody was okay.
Sounds like Knockout Radio has a history of being disappointed in Miami.
Yes. Speaking of Miami, isn't there a bare knuckle fight?
September 13th, yeah.
Awesome.
BKFC, they just announced, Dave Feldman said they're coming home.
Oh, that's
So
great.
they're going to have a BKFC in Pinellas Park,
Philadelphia, too.
Florida. No, Pinellas Park.
Oh.
Well, Randy's from.
Philadelphia.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So they're going to
Yeah,
Philadelphia.
Feldman's from Philly. Yeah.
Right. That's right.
So am I.
Yeah.
So am I.
Who is it?
So, yeah, I asked him to come on to talk about it. He's dotting the I's and crossing the T's. He'll be on next week
Well,
That's
that's
awesome.
great.
to talk
That's
about
going
it.
to be epic. We have to go.
Yeah, we
I
have
mean,
to go. I will go to that. I will
Yeah.
pay. I will go to that one because I have to go home anyway. I haven't
Is
seen my
Travis the
dad
main
in a
event?
while.
Travis Thompson?
I don't know. I don't know nothing about it. Dave said that he'll
Okay,
come on next week.